Hi there and welcome to today's live training session. It is exciting that you're here. If you're here, then that means you really want to understand your voice better and find out how you can sound the best. Here's the thing, you have potential. You might think it's more or less, but I want to help you just really reach your full potential or to get closer to it. And I can do that by helping you understand your voice better. Now, you probably have watched a lot of my YouTube videos or some of my YouTube videos, or at least one of my YouTube videos. That's probably how you found me. And you got some value out of it, but probably the question is like, yeah, but where do I start? There's so much. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos out there, and I have so much training material. It's overwhelming, right? And there are thousands and millions more probably on YouTube and all these tutorials that show you some aspect of how to sing better, but how do you know where to start? I want to talk about the most relevant things today that you can do to understand your voice better, to know what you're going to have to work on. And these are the elements that I have seen make the big difference, the biggest difference in all of my students' voices and in my own work. You have to work smarter, not harder. That doesn't mean that you sometimes don't have to work hard, but working in a smart and intentional way is so much more important. Singing through a song over and over and over again, if you think, well, if I just sing this song 250 times, probably I'll get a lot better and at the end it's gonna sound great. Not necessarily the case, okay? You might actually make it worse. You might actually create problems that were not even there before, and you might just damage your voice or strain your voice. So I want to help you avoid all those things and, the most common pitfalls so that you know what it is that you focus on. It does take energy to practice. It does take energy to, just physical energy, not just the mental energy just to go ahead and practice, but singing is physical work. You do it with your body. Your body is your instrument. So I want to help you to not waste any resources so that, of course, you can prevent as much strain as possible. Working smarter, not harder, is so important when it comes to singing. Because as a singer, we don't have hours and hours a day where we could just practice freely. A pianist has a little bit of a different approach because your fingers, they don't get calloused very easily. In the beginning, they may hurt, but it's not like it's going to create any damage in your hand or in your fingers if you practice for 5 hours every day. But in singing, you can't really do that. You just can't do it. So knowing where to focus and what to work on, and there are things you can do, not even singing out loudly. Of course, you can educate yourself without having to sing out all the time. And you can listen to other singers, you can learn lessons, you can watch videos without actually trying it out yourself. Before you try it out, understand it. And that's how I approach all of my teaching. Before my students do something, I want them to understand, why am I doing it? What's the end goal? And am I even executing it right? Because if you're not doing these things, it's why am I doing it, right? I want you to understand, why are you doing anything that you are doing, okay? So, but anyway, it's awesome that you're here, and let's dive in now. The number one thing that is so important, now we're not talking about exercises here, because what you do, you actually use exercises in order to sing songs, right? We're not just doing exercises for the exercise's sake. We're doing exercises because we want these exercises to bring us closer to being able to sing the songs. We want to acquire the skills in a more focused way in the exercises, but the end goal is, I want to sing this song. I want to sing songs. Unless you want to do a concert with exercises, but probably that is not the case, right? You want to sing songs. You want to sing pieces of music. You want to sing beautiful music. So the most important thing is to pick the right repertoire for your voice. You may have heard me say that, and I'm going to repeat it over and over and over and over and over again. I see a lot of my students just picking the wrong rep. If you're picking the wrong rep, let's say I'm just going to demonstrate something to you here. All right, I picked a song here. Let's just say you are a singer who has a very light, breathy voice. You're just not ready to sing something that's really heavy and belted out. So if you're going to sing this song, this is probably not the right song for you to do. And so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid look. I should have made you leave your key. If I had known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Oh, now go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. That song is just a little different. If you want to use the original track, you're gonna need more. And so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I had known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Go on now, go. However, if you have that soft, more brighter, lighter voice, maybe this song is better. Close your eyes, give me your hand, darling. Do you feel my heart beating? Do you understand? Do you feel the same? Or am I only dreaming? Is this burning an eternal flame? And so on. Now, of course, granted, in this song, later on in the song, it does get a little bit more intense. However, you hear the difference how now this kind of, it just lets my voice shine if I sing in that breathy, softer voice, whereas that other song before, I Will Survive, was more like, okay, it's burying me, it's just not letting me be heard at all. So choosing the right repertoire is so important. Next, what is so important is choosing the right key. Now, if I choose a song that is just in a key that is not right for my voice. So, In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins, original key, okay, he's a guy, I'm a woman. Most likely my voice is going to sit in a different place. Like my middle voice and his middle voice are in different places. His high voice and my high voice, different places. His low voice, my low voice, different places. Okay? His range is just somewhere else. He might have the same range. I don't know what the range is, but it's just shifted. So if I try to sing this in the original key, I can either sing it down there in his key. I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord. It's just a little weird to do it that low. Now if I wanted to sing in an octave higher, same key, octave higher, I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord. Not really it, right? If I did head voice, I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment all my life, oh Lord. It's not really it either, because he doesn't sing it in head voice, and it's not the kind of song that's supposed to be sung in head voice. So what do? Oh, pick a different key maybe, right? So let's see. It starts with a D. So the lower D is too low for my voice. So D5 is definitely too high. D4 is nice, but it goes down to a G. It goes to a G3, which is just a little bit low for me to have that kind of energy that that song wants me to have. He kind of sings in the middle of his voice, and he sings with medium intensity here. Actually quite, it's quite intense, not belted, but it's quite intense. It's not belted, but it's not soft either. Now if I do G minor instead of D minor, let's see, that is transposed, let's see, 5 half steps up. I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord. Yeah, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord. That is better. I could try maybe another whole step higher. Maybe I can still do it. Let's try it out. Experiment with it. It's like there might be a sweet spot for the perfect key. So if I transpose it down to A minor instead of G minor, that is a whole step higher than G minor. Let's try that out, how that works. I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord. I like that. So I probably would pick A minor. I could always try it. I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord. Actually, I like A minor from my voice. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. It's not too belted, it's not too high, it's not too low. That's kind of the sweet spot for my voice. See how the process works? You want to go through the whole process. I know. You may not be able to play the piano yourself and just experiment with it and just do all these key changes. However, there's an awesome app. It's called AnyTune. And as far as I know, part of it is free. I think that function you can actually use. And you can actually transpose backing tracks. Now, it doesn't sound good if you're doing like a -5, but if you just want to transpose it a little bit, that'll work. A lot of times you will also on YouTube find songs that are maybe originally by a male singer, but then it will say female key or something. If it's songs that are really well known, there might be a lot more different options for keys. And there are tools out there that you can use to transpose some karaoke tracks. But it's better to sing a song in the right key than to struggle singing in the wrong key, and you might just make everything worse, and you're never going to be happy with it because it's not achievable to sound that way. So you always have to remember that. You'll have to ask yourself, now, when the original singer sings this specific song, where does it sit in their voice? What is the intensity? What is the voice color? You know, how much power do they have to give into it? Is it more low and relaxed and breathy? Well, then it needs to be in your voice, low and relaxed and breathy, which might not be in the same key that the original singer sings in. If it's high belted, like high chest voice belted, then it needs to be in your high belted chest voice, which might be higher or lower than the original singer, okay? Always consider that. Is it breathy? Then make it breathy. Is it falsetto? Well, you can't really sing falsetto when it's way too low in your voice, and also when it's way too high, it gets really hard too. If there's a flip between chest voice and falsetto, yeah, like Chris Isaac, no, I wanna fall in love. So chest voice and falsetto, you have to put it where you can actually do chest voice to falsetto flip. No, it might be too low. No, it's too high. It's not really working out in my voice. So I have to ask myself, where does it sit in his voice? and I have to translate that into my voice. All right. Number 3, work on specific issues at a time. You don't want to just sing through the song over and over and over and over again and again and again and again, and probably a lot of the song is not that challenging. It sounds pretty decent, but maybe just this one part of the song is really hard, or maybe it kind of all doesn't sound right, but get to the bottom of why is it just not sounding right? Am I singing the entire song with the wrong approach? Well, then you should focus on that one thing. I recently had a student of mine, she sang Walking in Memphis. She started out, she had the Cher version in her ear. She had it stuck in her brain. And what happened was that, Cher has like this kind of very dark, lower sounding voice, high intensity, lots of vibrato, and it sounds great when Cher does it. But then my student, who just doesn't have the same voice, it sounded like, put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane, touchdown. It was just not the right thing. And she did notice, like, it just doesn't sound right. It sounds bad. Why? What am I doing? And then I recommended to her, like, in your voice, it would sound a lot better if you actually relaxed your voice a bit. Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane, touchdown, and so on. It just sounded more like her real voice. And that was a specific issue to work on throughout the song. It wasn't like a million different things, but just working on this one element made a big difference in the entire song from front to end. What if the only hard thing is just this one phrase that is really high and belted? Maybe it's just this. So I say thank you for the music. Thank you for the music. Maybe that is a problem. Maybe I'm just not getting it. Thank you for the music is not right. So maybe it's just this one pitch that I always just keep getting wrong, and it's the title of the song, it's the chorus, and it happens several times, and it's really annoying when it's not right. So I say thank you for the music. La 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 la. Really practice that part and hammer it until you get it. Don't sing through the entire song if every pitch is right except just this one part. Because you're going to waste a lot of energy and time and resources and your vocal cords by just singing through the entire song where, maybe the entire song is not the problem. It's just this one. But if you fixed this one part, it would already make it all right. It would fix something that is just wrong, okay? So make sure you really work on specifics. You don't want to just sing through songs over and over and over again. You want to just pick something. You can even make an exercise out of it. Use it for your warm-up. La, 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 la. Head voice or chest voice. La, 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 la. La. So those intervals, maybe I just want to practice those intervals and I can use them as a warm-up exercise. Now that's a little bit difficult maybe here, unless you're a little bit more advanced. I can use anything out of a song as a warm-up and make an exercise out of it. If it's too high, then I try it a little lower first. So I say thank you for the music. Maybe it's too high for me. Maybe I just need to just start lower. I can work up to this, but for now, I want to make it just a little bit lower. Okay, let's see if I can make everything perfect when it's a whole step lower. So I say thank you for the music. Okay, now it works well. Now I try it a half step higher. So I say thank you music. Okay, now I worked myself up. I tried this a few times, and now I can do the original. Key one more time. So I say thank you for the music. Okay, now I worked myself up to this. See how this works? I don't just address the entire song because it's never ever the entire song that is just a big problem or anything like that. It's usually some element or breathing or your support or, like something that keeps coming up. Maybe you don't have enough time for breathing sometimes, so you want to practice quick breathing. Because I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass. Maybe your problem is that it's more like you're too heavy. Because I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that too heavy, too dark, and too not enough time for breathing. So, because I'm all about that bass, no treble. So I'm slowing it down first in order to kind of help my brain follow along with what is actually happening in the music, because it goes by really fast. Because I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. Really focusing on how can I breathe rhythmically but deeply. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, Okay, a little faster. Because I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass. Okay, maybe now I can do speed up to speed. Because I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass. So rhythmic breathing intentionally and slowing it down so I can kind of follow along, like step by step, my brain can actually work and follow, made me realize when I need to take that breath and how I need to take that breath in order to stay in that rhythm. See how that all works? There's a million different things you could do, but you have to do it intentionally. Number 4 is sort out your registers. It is so important. If you sing in the wrong register, if you don't know, it's just not going to sound right. All alone in the moonlight. Now, if you're going to sing it like Elaine Page, you may want to stay in chest voice. Memory, all alone in the moonlight, has the moon lost her memory? I think I'm in the wrong verse, but it's really relevant. It's extremely relevant what register you sing in. When I go, think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. Remember me once in a while. Please promise me you'll try. That would be hard to sing that in chest voice. Also, it's not in the style. Think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. Remember me once in a while. Please promise me you'll try. It's more in a head voice mix. So knowing your registers is so relevant. But at the same time, if I go, What would I do without your smart mouth, drawing me in and you kicking me out? You got my head spinning, no kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? It's not quite right when I sing it in head voice. More like, what would I do without your smart mouth, drawing me in and you kicking me out? Got my head spinning, no kidding, I can't pin you down. That's more like it. So your registers are so important. And lastly, number 5, if you want to sound amazing, you might have really wonderful technique and you figured out all these things that I just talked about. But what's really important is connect with the song and the music. So you don't want to seem like, okay, I'm just overthinking. You don't want to overthink. You want to be at a point to where you really mean what you're singing. You mean it, you're feeling it, you're enjoying it yourself. If you hate what you're doing, if it feels horrible, your audience is going to feel horrible also. So you want to make sure you connect to the music. And here's a really important tip. Make it mean something personally. And don't let it be abstract, but let it be something very concrete. So if you're singing about you, who is you? Like, who are you singing about? Who is that person? So plug in someone that you can think about, so it's not just something abstract. It has to be something very specific. And it has to mean something to you personally. You can make any song mean something personally. Even if it's something you're singing about that is not really you, like All About That Bass, that is actually about a girl who is not maybe that thin as all the others and who doesn't look like the perfect Barbie. But what if you are someone who has this perfect figure, blonde-haired, beautiful model type person, but you still want to sing that song? Well, you can, but you're just going to have to take it with an attitude. Maybe you want to sing it as someone, like, I'm an ambassador here and I want to bring across the message that if you're someone who's not perfect, who doesn't have the model body that maybe I'm just blessed and nature just blessed me and I'm just lucky to have it. But if you're not like that, you're still just as good. You're adequate, you're good enough, and you're beautiful. And you can sing it as that to bring across the message. You have to make it mean something to you personally. If the song doesn't touch you and it doesn't mean anything to you, it's not going to mean anything to your audience. You can't fake it. So even in your eyes, you don't have to move around a lot, but it's just the expression in your eyes that will reflect what it is that you're feeling. Don't underestimate your audience. Human beings are very empathic. So everyone can call you out if you're faking it. You don't want to fake it. You want to make sure that it means something to you first. I know it's hard to be in front of an audience sometimes and to be like, okay, it was okay when I was on my own at home. I could do all these things and it was easy to just kind of let myself go and be myself. And now it's really hard. I'm starting to overthink. That brings me to an offer that I have for you. If you have a hard time being yourself when you're on stage, I have a course, Conquer Your Stage Fright. Now, it's not just about stage fright. It's really about being able to acquire the skill to be yourself when you are in performance mode. That goes for singing. That actually goes for other areas in your life. If you're like, maybe you have a job interview coming up, it's the same kind of principles. Now, that course is a bonus if you register for my Back to the Basics course. What is my Back to the Basics course? By the way, I have another bonus in there. Back to the Basics is my comprehensive course in which I walk you through all the aspects of singing. Like literally there's an outline. It's like an encyclopedia, but it explains to you what it is that you want to work on, why you want to work on it, and how you work on it. So you can work on all these different areas. I start out with breathing and your posture and your support and what is compression, why do you need it, how to vocalize, how your different registers work, how do you know when you're in what register, what does it sound like, how do you produce, and then it always has an explanation video, but it also has practical exercises. It's not just a course where I throw exercises at you. It's like, just do this, and if you do this every day, you'll be good. I want you to know why you're doing this. I want you to not waste your resources. I want you to do it intentionally and in a focused way. I go all the way to phrasing and connecting with the music. I have different challenges if you want to strengthen your belting, if you want to strengthen your head voice, if you want to understand what mix is, dynamics. How do you use your lips, your tongue, your pharynx, your larynx? What is it and why are they relevant? And practical exercises with all of those lessons always. And I have several challenges that are usually a week long, where you have at least 5 videos for every day of the week where you can work on a very specific area. There's a belting challenge in there. There's a better breathing and support challenge. There's a better transitions challenge between your vocal registers. There's a better mix challenge. If it's still a mystery to you, what is mix and how do I do it? This really goes in depth, and you can do it for an entire week. Now, this signature course is normally $349 US, and it's a lifetime membership. Meaning, whenever I add more content, which I do sometimes, you just have access to whatever I add in the future. But if you register now, you get my Conquer Your Stage Fright course. You also get my Perfect Beginnings course, which is amazing if you just want to have a very comprised course of where do I actually get started to have a good baseline of understanding my voice and how to sing. So I'm going to give those to you, and if you register now, you're going to get $50 US off. You're going to get it for $299 US. But you have to sign up in the next couple of days. I really want to help you achieve your full potential. And you can't do that by just running through exercises over and over again. I hope I could help you today. And even if it's just one lesson that you took from this, that's amazing. It makes me happy. You're going to get an email with all the information in it. And if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. My team or I will happily answer your questions if we can. Thank you so much for hanging out. Take your singing to the next level, and always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing.